what's up, guys? Got another video here for you. This is Tuned in Sports. My name is Bryson.
I'm Bennett.
And today we're bringing you guys another video. This video is primarily, actually exclusively, going to be talking about the two games of ours, because our two teams actually played on Sunday. And even though it's now Monday, we figured better late than never to talk about it. I wasn't able to make the game review that Bennett, Steve, and Don did. And so I wanted to get on here and, share my thoughts about the Eagles since I wasn't able to.
Yeah, not only that, but I wanted to take the opportunity to go more in depth about how I felt about the Bengals game this week. So,
you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, with that, you want to start with the Bengals and, open with...
No, we'll start with the Eagles this time.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Okay, fair enough.
Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
We're going with the Bengals. All right, here we go. No, we'll start with the Eagles. Okay, so, obviously the Eagles had a game this week on the road against the Steelers. Ended up losing 38-29. It was disappointing that we lost, but I'm honestly not going to sit here and get upset this week, because I honestly felt like, on the whole, I was actually pretty happy with our performance. Yes, we lost. Yes, we could have won. We should have maybe won, and we should have played better. We should be better. Yes, I get all that. But the fact is, guys, we're just not very good this year. So with that being said, the fact that we showed up and competed was a really good sign to me.
Yeah.
I honestly thought that we could have easily gotten blown out in this game. And the fact that we only lost by 9, and really the only reason we lost by 9 is because we couldn't stop them at the end there, which was very disappointing. The way that, we gave up that 35-yard wide open pass to Chase Claypool at the end there when we needed to hold him to get the ball back.
Speaking of Chase Claypool, man, he had 4 TDs that game. You guys weren't doing anything about him.
Yeah, 3, but he was all over the field. But, honestly, like I said, it sucks that we lost, and I'm not going to sit here and say, boy, I'm so happy we lost. But I'm also not going to rip them and get all upset this week, because going into it, I wasn't expecting us to win.
Yeah.
And the fact that we showed up and played a competitive game on the road was a good sign.
Yeah, not only that, but you got to figure, you had 3 O-linemen out, and the Steelers are one of the better defensive lines in this league. So the fact that they were able to relatively keep Wentz, not hurt, and be able to put up 29 points today, on Sunday, that's not bad at all. Yeah. Considering the circumstances, I think that's pretty good showing offensively.
Yeah, so, no, exactly. I wasn't entirely upset with the performance. I actually thought, overall it was a pretty solid day. We obviously lost, but it could have been a lot worse. One thing I did want to say, Wentz, he didn't play great, but he could have been worse. But one thing I did want to say is shout out to Travis Fulgham. Man, that dude came to play this week. Every single time we turned around, that dude was making a catch. Excellent job by him. He played outstanding. He was all over the field. Nobody was guarding him. And just great game by him. I couldn't have been happier with how he played, as well as the fact of, he played and made some big plays in big minutes. 10 receptions, 152 yards, and a touchdown. Great job by Travis Fulgham. Really the only thing that, I heard a lot of people saying, should we have gone for the field goal? At the one point in the game, it was like 57 or 58 yards or something, and what's his name, Jake Elliott ended up missing it, and then that gave the Steelers pretty good field position, and I believe they ended up getting a touchdown on that drive. Should we have gone for it, or should we have kicked the field goal? I'm fine with kicking the field goal there. Honestly, he didn't miss it because he didn't kick it far enough. I mean, he made a kick from like 63. So he has the leg to make it. He just flat out missed it. So I don't think it was like a huge mistake to not go for it or something there. Because especially if you go for it, well, guess what? If you miss it, you're in the same spot. So you might as well try to get some points. Yeah. And if we would have made it, we would have taken the lead. So I don't think that there was any question as to whether or not we should have kicked a field goal there. I think it was the right call. And honestly, I think that, I trust Jake Elliott. He's one of the more consistent field goal kickers in the league, in my opinion. And the fact that he missed it, while unfortunate, hey, win some, lose some, and unfortunately he missed this one. But in years past he's made some huge ones too. So I'm all for giving him a shot, and unfortunately he missed this one. But the score ended up being a 9-point game, but it was a lot closer than that. They scored late, just on a throwaway play. They broke free from the thing and just wide open pass. Miscommunication on the defense. But, there's a lot of things that, I could get into and complain about, I guess. But I'm not going to do that this week because overall I thought that we played a competitive game and the better team won. Yeah. So there's a difference between, there's a big difference between losing to the Steelers and losing to Washington week 1. When we lose to Washington week 1, I'm going to be upset. When we lose to the Steelers, well, I'm not entirely expecting to win that game. Even if we were as good as we were supposed to be, I wouldn't be surprised if we had lost to the Steelers because they're a solid team. So I'm not going to sit here and, complain and all this other stuff about anything else. I'm just going to let it be, and say, good game this week overall. Wish we could have won, but hey, it happens. Wentz, you got to play better, but, he didn't play horrible, I didn't think. And then 2 interceptions. Can't have 2 interceptions against the Steelers especially, but, one of them was at the end of the game when he was just trying to make a play on 4th down to keep us in the game. So I don't really count that because, really, he was just trying to make something happen to keep us in the game. So, yeah, he threw a pick, but, if we had made the field goal and been ahead or whatever, he maybe wouldn't have made that throw. So it is what it is. I really say for the day he had 1 interception, and then the second one, the game was pretty much over anyway. So whatever. But, he could have played better, but he also could have played worse. Yeah. And I think he kept us in the game. So, hey, good on him. But, that's all I have to say on the Eagles.
Yeah, I would echo what he was saying about the Eagles, though. Overall, not much to really be upset about. You weren't expecting to win the game, and you guys contended. That's ultimately what I'm looking for with my Bengals. And, just to jump into the Bengals, they did the opposite of contending this week against the Ravens. Joe Burrow threw 19 for 30, 183 yards, 1 interception, sacked 7 times. I'm not saying it's all the O-line, but that's just ridiculous. You can't be having that happen. And I'm pretty sure he was hit another 15 times that weren't sacks. So
something like that, yeah.
Yeah, some ridiculous amount of hits taken by him, but Good. I don't see anything bad with Burrow. I mean, I don't think it's all his fault why they're struggling. That's for sure. Because he's played pretty much phenomenal up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
So, overall, just a lot of things to improve on for the O-line. And QB rating for Burrow this week was 5.7, which not good at all. But like I said, you ain't got any O-line, you're going to struggle, especially when you got a good defense coming into town. So, as for running game, not much was there either. 24 rushes for 59 yards for Mixon. That's just not good. Again, good. Ravens have a good defense, and O-line didn't play well. Just typical stuff. But first half, we didn't hand it to Mixon hardly at all in the first half. Most of his touches came in the second half.
Yeah.
So, but pretty much.
Well, I think part of that was they got so far behind so early that they felt like they couldn't run the ball. But
overall, though, I felt the defense played well.
No, I know, but I'm just saying offensively, I think they got down by so much so early they felt like, oh, we can't afford to take time off the clock by running, so we're just going to line up to pass every down. And, well, unfortunately, they got one-dimensional, and then the defense didn't even respect the run.
Well, yeah, not only that, but then that just led them to blitzing every play, which is basically what they did all game. And who can blame them? It worked. I mean, like I said, Burrow got sacked 7 times, threw an interception. O-line was pretty much non-existent. The only positive part about today was the defense. Actually, I thought they showed up to play. So, wide receiving wise, T. Higgins led the team in receptions again this week. Actually, him and Tyler had four receptions.
Joe Mixon actually led the team
Joe
in
Mixon
receiving.
actually, but
in terms of receivers,
in terms of actual receivers, T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd both had 4 catches, but T. Higgins had more yards overall, so I just say T. Higgins led the team. But overall, just rough day.
Yeah, not only that, but you didn't even get the points you did score until garbage time.
Yeah, exactly.
When it was already 27 to nothing.
I was honestly glad when we scored that 3, because I didn't want us getting shut out.
Yeah.
So, I guess you take points when you can. Even if it's in garbage time, sometimes can be beneficial, even when you're losing badly. At least it just shows
pride.
Yeah, well, not only that, but it just kind of shows that you can at least get down the field. Which is something they didn't do all game, But a lot of the game when I was watching, it seemed like we got to like the 40 or 50, then went stagnant from there. We couldn't move the ball past there. Yeah. So, but that seems to be the case with a lot of times with, offenses that don't score, like that have trouble scoring. They usually go stagnant around the 40 or 50. That's what I've noticed with a lot of teams when they run into problems offensively. So, I guess that's not really something that I was very surprised about because, as you know, Ravens have one of the better defenses in the league. But who's to say that we ain't got a good offense? We put up at least over 30 in like 2 of the last 3 games.
Yeah.
So, I just don't understand what happened today. To me, if the offense would have performed, we would have been in the game. Our defense played well enough to keep us in the game.
Mm-hmm.
only gave up 27 points to a really good offense.
Yeah, and Lamar Jackson only had 2 carries for 3 yards. So
they overall contained him, to me. Like, I thought they did a really good job.
They did more than contain him. They made it so that his running wasn't even a factor, basically.
Yeah.
And then passing wise, he did okay, but his QBR was only 63.5, so he definitely,
I mean, I don't
play lights out.
One of the touchdowns the Ravens had though was a fumble by Mike Thomas, and ran it back for 7.
Yeah.
So, I mean, partially, I don't even think necessarily that it was our defense that was keeping us out of the game. I think it was our offense.
Yep.
Just was stagnant.
Well, it was partially the offense and partially the defense, but mostly the offense because not only did the offense not move the ball, but then they just kept putting the defense on the field.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
They just got worn out. So that's just something that happens when your offense can't do anything and you're going against a team like the Ravens that are just
dogs on defense, basically.
Yeah, and then just a team like the Ravens that are constantly just slamming it down your throat with Ingram and Dobbins and Edwards. I mean, you just got so many guys.
Speaking of the run game, so let's compare here. Marvin Ingram, 11 carries for 57 yards. Joe Mixon, 24 carries for 59 yards. Twice as many carries.
And only
2 more yards.
And that was just him.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Gus Edwards, 7 carries, 25 yards.
J.K. Dobbins had 1 rush for 34 yards.
Yep.
I mean,
and then
they were slamming us with the run game.
Joe Mixon had 5 receptions for 35 yards. J.K. Dobbins had 3 receptions for 21. So, I mean, there's another one, too, where half the receptions and not too far away from the same number of yards.
Yeah, exactly.
So that means that, things that the Bengals were doing, the Ravens were doing...
Just better. We're just doing better.
Yeah, exactly. So.
But, it shows. Our offensive line ranking was 31st going into this week. And then theirs was 5th.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big difference.
Yep.
I mean,
going into this game, I wasn't expecting the Bengals to win. I thought they would play better than they did, but I'm not really surprised to see that it went this way because I just think that the Bengals have too much wrong right now, and the Ravens are just one of the best teams in football. So, when you're going against a team that is one of the best teams in football, the areas that you have issues are going to be exposed. And that's exactly what happened. Their offensive line is one of the worst ones. And what did the Ravens do? They were
blitzed.
Not only that, but even when they weren't blitzing, they were on Joe Burrow all morning, afternoon, whatever you want to call it, long. They were in the backfield as much as frickin' Mixon. They might as well have been, taking the carries.
Not only that, but just to go on about the Bengals some more, they lost Hubbard, Green, and what's the other guy? DJ Reader to injury this game.
Yeah, that didn't help. But I'm just saying, overall, the areas that the Bengals struggled in
were the areas that you would expect.
The areas that the Bengals struggled in is the areas they've been struggling in.
Which is run defense and O-line.
Yep.
Those were the two.
And this week, you win against a team that specializes in both. So, therefore... They're one of the best teams in both of those categories. Running the ball, and getting pressure with the defensive line. And when you go against that, and they're one of the best teams, as well as they have one of the best coaches in the league right now, as far as I'm concerned, easily top 5, if not higher, probably top 3, in my opinion. Coaches in the league. he's going to take advantage of the things that you guys are not good at.
Yeah.
The difference between the Ravens and a lot of other teams, the Ravens, they watch tape, they see what you're doing, and they figure out how to capitalize on things that other teams struggle with. And that's because they have a great coach who's experienced and who knows what to look for and how to win games. And they probably watched the Cincinnati tape, or they just saw Cincinnati's stats and said, hey, we know exactly what we need to do to beat this team. We need to run the ball, and we need to get to the quarterback. And if he doesn't have time to throw, I don't care who's back there. And that's exactly what happened.
I just, overall, I really don't think the Bengals are far from being really good. Just, to me, they're mainly, like you said, main things are offensive line and run defense. Their passing defense isn't bad to me. I think their passing defense has been overall pretty good this year, actually. And they, you know what I read too? Jesse Bates, PFF ranking is first in the league for safety. Best safety in the league right now. So overall, they got some nice pieces on the defensive end, but just, certain areas of the defense they got to improve.
Yeah, and really what it comes down to me is the better team went out there and played, for one, and for two, I just think the Ravens, like I said before, well, I didn't specifically say this, but what I was getting at is the Ravens are just a horrible matchup for the Bengals. Because, like I said, the things
they
Ravens
excel in what we're bad at.
Yeah, exactly. So when you look at that, you think, boy, that's going to make for a long day.
Yeah, I just would have expected us to come out and play a little bit better than we did, considering how we.
No, exactly. I thought the game was actually going to be close. I said in the preview that I was really excited for this game.
Yeah,
because I was really looking forward to seeing Joe Burrow against a really good defense. And unfortunately, he didn't.
Unfortunately, the O-line didn't hold up, so he wasn't able to do anything.
Unfortunately
really.
For him, it might as well have been. Well, who's the backup? Ryan. It might as well have been Ryan Finley back there.
It's not.
I think I could have gotten a 5.7 QBR.
It's not all of his fault. It's not all his fault. Because there's definitely a lot of blame to go around and why the offense wasn't performing.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, I think I could have gotten a 5.7 QBR rating.
No, you're probably right. Because that's just, 5.7, that's just, man, why are you even playing?
Yeah. you don't bench that guy, of course.
No.
Unfortunately... but part of that, too, is play calling, though. How much... They were down by 17 points at halftime, and they scored 3 points in garbage time. Apparently, they didn't make any adjustments because they couldn't score in the first half, and they could not score in the second half. There was nothing that they did to even manage anything more than 3 points when the game didn't matter. Come on, you got to make better adjustments than that.
To me, it goes back to watching the tape. And also, like you said, making adjustments. You know that you're not going to have time to throw it. Why don't they game plan around that? I just don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been wondering the same thing about my team for weeks. But hey, seriously though, when you don't score in the first half, you got adjustments to be made. You got to come up with something. And the fact that the only score they had was a field goal in garbage time, they couldn't even get in the end zone in garbage time. It was a field goal. So that's just horrible on the coaching staff. I mean, you got to be able to find a way to at least put some points up there.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I can understand, like I said before, the Ravens are a horrible matchup for the Bengals, I think, and just they excel. They're not even pretty good. They excel at the areas that the Bengals suck at. So when that happens, you're going to have a long day anyways. But yeah. I'm just saying, as a coach, to only be able to put up 3 points in the final quarter, not even at the beginning, but what adjustments are being made to only put up 3 points in garbage time? I mean, zero adjustments. That's horrible.
And that leads on to another thing that really kind of pissed me off today. I mean, not today, but, Sunday at the game. Lip syncing was leaked, basically, of a video of AJ Green, at least supposedly saying he wanted to be traded.
Well, right now he moved from the team to the injured reserve list, so I don't think he has to worry about too much, right?
I don't. I mean, to me, if he doesn't want to be there, trade him. I mean, to me, I feel like we got a nice young core for wide receiver, and we don't need cancers on the team.
I completely agree.
So, as far as I'm concerned, trade him. If he doesn't want to be there, we'll make up for it because we got a history of drafting good wide receiver talent.
Yeah,
I think we'll be able to.
Just don't expect to see his jersey in too many more of the videos.
Yeah, exactly.
At least we learn it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably still. I mean, I like AJ Green, of course. I mean, how can you not? Nine seasons and 7 Pro Bowl appearances. I mean, the guy's been exceptional for years, but as of these last couple seasons, he's not offering much of anything. Except for injury spot on the injury reserve list.
Yeah, he's been pretty reliable on the injury list.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I think for the Bengals it was bad matchup, bad coaching, bad offensive line play, injuries, not good play calling. Like he said, they didn't even run the ball till most of their carries were in the second half when the game was pretty much over. And I understand that your offensive line is not that good and the Ravens' defensive line is excellent, but you got to try to keep them honest. You can't just stand there and say, well, we're just going to pass for 3 downs, because apparently that wasn't working either. No. You gotta not be one-dimensional on offense, and they just came out with the mindset of we're one-dimensional and didn't even make them try. And that's just bad play calling. And, I mean, I think, not only that, but like you said, with how you've played so far, how do you only manage 3 points? I don't care who the defense is. I mean, the Chargers had a good defense. You guys put up more points.
We put up 16 on that.
Yeah.
13.
Well, I'm just saying, you put up at least some points. And then, the Browns, they've got a decent defense, and you put up a decent number.
Yeah, we put up 30 on them.
The Eagles, their defense is kind of a joke, and it's kind of good, depending on the week. But you put up a decent number against there. So it's just, there was no good coaching by the Bengals on this, and I think, as much as you want to blame players, I just don't think they were prepared. I don't think they game planned well at all, because you knew this could be the story going in. So you need to game plan and make changes saying, hey, they're probably going to stop the run. We need to come up with creative plays to get the offense moving, and they just didn't do it.
Yeah, I thought, like I said, I don't blame a lot of this loss on the defense, because overall they were doing their job.
Yeah, it was only a 17-point game at half. I mean, that's doable. They only gave up 3 points in the third quarter. So, 20-0 going into the fourth quarter. So the Ravens are known for putting up a pretty serious number against a lot of teams. So
it was over. I mean, yeah, I wasn't very upset with the way the defense played. In fact, a lot of the people that I've seen were actually praising our defensive coordinator, Lou Anarumo, for his performance. So,
yeah, no, I mean, he did what he could with how bad the offense was. Yeah. But, again, I mean, it just, for me, really this one falls at the feet of the coaching. Yeah. And like you said, too, I mean, it really comes down to the areas that you struggled in. This didn't just start this week, and you knew those were going to be an area of issue, so you need to game plan and figure out a way to make things happen regardless of that. Otherwise, you're just going to get crushed. And apparently, they didn't do that, and what happened? They got crushed.
Yeah, and Burrow was on the floor all game. So,
and, in a lot of ways, I think the biggest win for this week was the fact that
Burrow, it was over.
It was over, but also the fact that he didn't end up getting hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the number of times he was slammed, hit, and sacked, and just plowed into.
He took a beating today, so
yeah, he's gonna be sore. He's gonna be sore.
Good on him. Good on him for keeping on going. Not just saying, you know what, this game's out of reach, so I'm going to go sit on the bench.
Yeah.
So, even though I don't think he would do that anyways, but
no.
Still,
but
I mean,
I definitely.
I wouldn't have blamed him. Let's just say that much.
No, but I definitely believe that, this week a lot of it falls on coaching, no adjustments being made, just bad play. And like I said, you knew the areas you struggled in, and you knew that you needed to work around that, and they just really made no adjustments to do so. So yeah. At the end of the day, I'm not sure how they were expecting different results because they didn't do anything to counteract what they knew was going to be their biggest issues going into the game. They did nothing to. I mean, I think I could have gone out there and said, hey, let's just suit up like it's another game.
Yeah,
I think I could have coached that team.
Yeah, you could have told Burrow to get rid of the ball quick.
I could have coached that team to 3 points.
Yeah.
I don't know about winning, but I could have got them 3 points.
Probably. You're probably right.
I mean, hell, if you can't get more than 3 points with those weapons that they have on offense, sorry to say, but I don't care how many freaking people that you have out on the offensive line, you can get the ball out of your hands fast and try to make plays.
To me, the offense is stacked with weapons. I mean, T. Higgins, he's came in and played well for a rookie. He's had a really good season so far.
Sample, he's played well,
but he's one that struggled today.
Yeah, he did.
So, and I mean, just to go on, I mean, we got the Colts next week. I think we'll have a little bit more success with not letting Burrow get sacked so much against the Colts, because I don't think the Colts defense is all that great.
Yeah,
but
I don't think they're as good as the Ravens at least.
Exactly. I expect us to be putting up more than 3 points that game. But
if you don't,
then we should think about firing the coach. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you have another outing offensively, and the offensive coordinator too, whoever's calling the plays, you better buckle your pants and come ready with a better offering next week than what you did this week.
Yeah, because the Colts are a high-scoring offense.
Because, like I said, I mean, I could have got this team 3 points.
Yeah, exactly. I think next week's gonna be a shootout with the Colts, and I think honestly, if we play our best game, we could win that one, possibly.
Yeah.
But
we'll see.
But injuries probably will play a big part because I mean we're missing 2 of our best D linemen now.
Yeah.
So that's going to have a major effect, I think. But,
yeah. Well,
but it's not like we were getting pressure anyways.
Yeah.
So it's not really going to be that much different. Except for, run defense. I think we'll probably be even more putrid than it was. So,
well, hey, you know what? Speaking of the Bengals and the Ravens, we get to play the Ravens next.
Oh, shoot.
After watching what the Bengals did this week, now we get to go out and see if we can muster up more than 3 points. And I'll say this about our coaching. If we have a 3-point outing, I am not going to be happy. We better come with more than 3 points because, like I said, I could coach a team to 3 points. So you guys are professionals getting paid to do this stuff. Spend 7 days a week game planning for a couple-hour game on Sundays. So you better come up with something better than just getting 3 points. With that being said, I don't think we're winning against the Ravens. I think it's in Baltimore too, which definitely doesn't help matters. Actually, no, we're at home. We are at home, but I don't think it's going to matter. I think there's a good chance that we end up getting crushed. I said earlier in a handful of weeks back after the week 2 performance, I said if we keep playing the way we're playing, it's going to be 52-10 when we play the Ravens that we're going to lose. I don't know if I still feel that way. I think we're a better team now than we were at week 2. But even so, I still think we're going to lose, and it probably won't be that close either. But with that being said, we'll see what ends up happening. Either way, I'm not too upset with this week's performance. If I was a Bengals fan, I would be.
Yeah,
I would be pretty upset with this week's performance. Like we said before, I definitely was not expecting them to win this game by any means. But
I was expecting them to come out and put up more than 3 points.
I was expecting that to be a close game, and at no point was it even marginally close. I mean, from the beginning, it looked like it was going to be 27-3 or something.
Oh, I wouldn't have been surprised if it was worse than that.
No, exactly. From the very beginning, it just looked like the Bengals shouldn't have been on the same field. And that's unfortunate because I think the Bengals are a better team than how they played on Sunday. But, hey,
it shows in the record.
Exactly. What could have and what should have happened don't really matter. What did happen does matter, and what did happen is they got creamed. So
didn't show up whatsoever.
Yeah. So hopefully both our teams can play a little better next week. Yeah. It would be a miracle, I think, if the Eagles somehow managed to beat the Ravens. I don't see it happening.
I could see us. Like I said before, I could see us being in a game with the Colts. I definitely could see that as one that we could possibly win. But we'll see.
Yep. We definitely will. So, with that being said, guys, this has been Tuned In Sports. Thank you for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed the content, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe for more content, more videos, and just more stuff upcoming on the channel. My name is Bryson.
I'm Bennett.
And we'll see you guys.
Peace. In the next video.